Green Earth has a fantastic map theme. In general, I think I like their music probably the best overall out of all the countries. And I think I also like their unit aesthetic, the second best after Orange Star. So we have Drake and Eagle, who, kind of as you might suspect from their names, one of them is a naval unit specialist, one is an air specialist, and then we're about to introduce our ground specialist CO. So there we go, Jess, the new CO for this game. The act is, of course, they've always known her, although she didn't exist previously. Drake is jolly and friendly and likes everybody, and Eagle and Jess are both hotheads who are always arguing with each other. Anyway, Eagle is certainly a better CO than her. Jess is a lot of fun, I like her a lot, but she's really bad in multiplayer. She's totally solid for single player stuff. She does well in her own missions. I do think it's kind of a boring way to divide the COs up and have just one be the ground person, one be the air person, one be the naval person. At least for one country to have all three of those things. But, despite that, it's a good campaign. Ordinarily, I would start all these campaigns off with a mission that unlocks the lab mission. However, there's a few missions throughout the campaign where you can't build neotanks anyway, so it doesn't matter what order you do them in. And I thought I would open with one of those because it introduces the main villain of the Green Earth and the main protagonist of Green Earth, whereas the pre-lab mission doesn't. This is one of the game's most memorable missions. So here we have Hawk. We have had mentioned but not seen since the opening cutscene of the game. He's a much more serious and less goofy CO than the other three up until now. He's all business, he's all competence, he's meant to be kind of a respectable, admirable, and very dangerous foe. Kind of a repeat of the fortress scenario from Yellow Comet, but now a good deal more formidable. This is a trickier puzzle. So again, he's on top of everything, he predicted everything that we do. Eagle foolishly comes in with nothing but air units. A single scissors would actually have made this map trivial, of course. It's a cool mission, though. I like this scenario and this whole scene and dialogue. The excellent Green Earth music helps sell it, too. It's a rare moment of doubt from Eagle, who otherwise tends to be confident to the point of smugness. With good reason. I mentioned there's only one CO in the game that's better than Kanbei, and it is Eagle for single player. Okay, so as you can see, we have a quite big map Air Force here. The bombers and the fighters are the important part. The battlecopters are mostly just decoration. Hawk has a big Air Force too. He also has 4 fighters, but luckily for us, he split his forces up, which makes it much easier for us to defeat them. You can see his fortress here is just crawling with anti-air units and missiles and so forth. Missiles on cities with mini cannons covering them are a good deal more formidable than missiles without those advantages. He also has 2 papers over here, but papers remain garbage under all circumstances, so we don't need to worry too much about those. The biggest problem we're up against here are the mini cannons, plus our opposing CO's dangerous power. Let's talk about the COs. So, Eagle basically has air units that use 2 less fuel than everybody else. Instead of using 5 per turn for a plane, it's only 3, and it's 0 for a helicopter, which is a nice advantage. And they have a small bonuses to attack and defense. 15% offense, 10% defense. The 10% defense is usually irrelevant, and the 15% offense isn't that big. He's neutral with everything else. They say he's weak versus naval units, but they really mean his naval units are weak. And they're quite weak, but also naval units are unusable garbage, so Eagle has no weakness. He's a CO with a strength and no weakness. His only real weakness, I guess, is that his CO power sucks. It costs 3 stars, and it gives a tiny, tiny bonus to his air units. Never, ever, ever use that. His superpower is the best superpower in the game. It costs 9 stars, but it gives him a double charge for everything except for his infantry. And it also gives that same tiny bonus to his air unit. Occasionally I've seen people in desperation who are getting overwhelmed try to use his CO power to boost their stats a little tiny bit. This is sort of like if you're hungry, so you chop off your own leg and ate it. It's a bad idea. Don't do that. Alright. Hawk, similar to Eagle, is an excellent CO with no weakness and a strength, and a powerful but expensive superpower. All his units have plus 10% firepower, no weakness. It's pretty good. It's not amazing, but it's pretty good. His CO power, they say, builds up more slowly. That's a lie. I think you've probably noticed almost every CO description is inaccurate or misleading. It builds up at the same speed as everybody else's. It's a really, really long bar. 9 stars to get to a superpower. And it's really not as strong as Eagle's for that cost. It should go without saying at this point, by the way, that Hawk and Eagle are kind of the juxtaposed COs. Yeah, they have the exact same name, and they're both very confident, very capable, with extremely extensive superpowers. So, Black Wave is pretty overpriced, does 1 global damage to all enemies and heals him by 1. It's pretty bad. If you can make Hawk use Black Wave, you're usually fairly happy. So it's often like a key to beating him is tricking me into using Black Wave, so it's not to build up his power bar toward his more effective superpower. Black Storm, twice as good, not twice as expensive, so a little bit better for that reason. It also just tends to, doing 2 damage often sets Hawk up to get some instant kills on 8 HP units that he can't really get against 9 HP units. So it tends to be more useful for that reason too. On this mission, we really want to manipulate our CO powers. That's kind of what it comes down to. I've tried lots of different tricky strategies, but I found one here has very, very low reliance on luck, basically none, and can win with 0 casualties, which is pretty epic, in only 5 turns out of 8 turns allowed for a perfect speed score. Speed is the real limiting factor in this mission. If you didn't have to worry about that, it'd be easy to win. Likewise, if our units didn't feel like they needed to run straight onto the fortress, they could just go in a bit of a U around and come back from behind or something like that, because all the mini cannons face forward, but whatever. So advance all the fighters and bombers full speed, they're the important things. Just keep the fighters right outside of Hawk's range, so that he walks up and we get first strikes against him. Basically, the more damage we do to him on the attacks, the less counterattack damage he does to us. And then because we have enough units to instant kill his guys regardless, this ultimately means that Hawk takes 10 damage on all of his units regardless, and the only variable is how much damage he does to us. And thus, less CO power buildup overall will happen if we just get first strikes. In fact, I have found that you can get him perfectly set up to be at 1/2 star short of a superpower in this first turn, having wiped out his entire force. Which is amazingly efficient, because then he'll have to waste his entire next turn's worth of buildup. He always moves asymmetrically here for some reason, and it kind of rankles with me, but I don't know why. His movements do vary bit by bit, based on your formations and things like that, but anyway. Let's attack his fighters from behind so we're as close as possible to the new front line. If we get lucky here, we reduce him to 3 HP in the first shot, but it doesn't matter, basically. As I said, this strategy is completely non-luck based. Most strategies that seem for this mission do rely upon the dice going your way at some point. Mine does not. Down he goes. Now, our next goal is to clear a path for the bombers to go full speed ahead. Since they're the core of our offense, if they get to move full speed ahead, they can do some useful attacks next turn. This guy is basically unblocked. This one effectively is unblocked too, because this is just as good, since he wants to be up top anyway to hit anything useful. Any copter that can move forward full speed and attack should obviously do so. Oh nice, 2 HP. And then we should clear a path for the bombers down here. For that we will need to take out his copters, or just take out one of his copters, but we should just take out both of them. You can see that I've got a fair amount of CO power buildup at this point. Looks like he can move full speed, and he can't attack anyway, so might as well. Down goes that copter. The only one whose HP actually matters is this last guy, basically, because he's the only one to be alive. 2 HP. Cool. Doesn't matter, he won't attack anyway, even if he's at 3 HP against our superior air units. Down goes that one. And that one. Bombers full speed ahead. And we're good. We are at 5 stars here. He is at 8.5 stars, and there's nothing he can attack with, so he's one of the rare COs who actually will use their power mid-turn if they get it, but he can't now. So he's gonna have to waste all the build-up from this next turn, which will be substantial, because he's already at his max, basically. So this is the most efficient way to make him waste power build-up. Okay, so our goal now is to get our superpower. Let's roll. Clear this fighter out of my bomber's path. That allows this bomber to instant kill a minicannon. Eagle's one of those wonderful COs who can instant kill minicannons with bombers, which just makes them the best COs in the game for a single player. Along with Max and Kanbei. If you're lucky, you'll instant kill this thing. It doesn't make a big difference because you can have one of your spare copters finish it off regardless. It's just a more elegant feeling if you can instant kill it. Okay, we got that one. Don't attack these anti-airs, just drive full speed up. Take out his remaining fighter. What do you know? We've got our superpower. Perfection. So then we just drive forward all of our units at full speed. Always remember to use your units before you activate your superpower, of course. It's kind of like the biggest mistake you can make as Eagle is to activate it before you move all your units. That's everybody. We can just leave his 2-seat battlecopter there. It'll never catch up. Both Eagle and Hawk have kind of smug superpower quotes. Both justified given that they have such powerful supers. Cool. Let's roll. So, you have one bomber that can attack his back missile, and you just go for that. This is the one part where, if you are super lucky, you can shave an entire turn off of your time on this mission. If you are able to kill pretty much all the missiles in one shot, you can do it in 4 turns instead of in 5 turns. But either way, you can take no casualties, and so it's pretty great. 5 casualties, sorry, no casualties, perfect scores. Wow, this is actually quite a lucky start. You should next have this plane attack from here. I've never seen such good luck. Okay, I've got to just go for it now and see how it goes if I actually luck out all the way. I've never even had this happen. Incredible. Alright. Well, cool. That changes things a little bit. In that case, whereas ordinarily I would leave these front minicannons alone for now, kill off the back ones first, and soften up all of the central four to kill at the same time on turn 5. Now I'm going to kill the front ones first, which does allow his anti-airs free reign. To prevent them from targeting any bombers, I'm going to use my fighters, and just block them up like that. I've already taken out all of his air units, so I no longer have any real use for my fighters. Might as well put them to this purpose of tanking. Fighters are good at that. So, if I put an 8 HP fighter there, I'll do 6 HP, he can do about 7 HP of damage to a fighter with his superpower, basically. So if I have him at 10 HP, he can't get to the bombers, is the important thing, basically. Just don't let him get to the bomber with anything. So I will join up like so. See how that goes. If I hadn't had this rare good luck, what I would do instead would be let my bombers get hit by a few mini cannons while leaving all of them intact for now. Have my 5 HP resulting bombers take out his backmost mini cannons while I soften up the other ones, and then finish off all 4 of their central mini cannons on day 5 together. He said to be defeated is to lose everything. Are you prepared for that outcome? Oh, he did a little bit less damage than I thought. I forgot about how powerful my superpower is here. He didn't focus fire for some reason. I guess he does more damage overall this way, but it does mean he doesn't get any kills whatsoever. Okay, well, in that case, bomb that thing. If I take out these last 2 mini cannons, we win with 0 casualties in 4 turns. So, you can see I did get a little bit of luck there. If you don't get that luck, you win with 0 casualties in 5 turns, but this is still pretty amazing. I'm incredibly glad that it actually worked out that way. Let's take out his rear copter for fun. Thought you were gonna get away with this, huh? Alright, best possible outcome for this mission. Always one of the cool, memorable ones that I look forward to whenever I restart the game. And I wish that I could replay and keep finding new optimal strategies. I don't know how you withdraw from the situation with bombers and fighters crawling all over you and out in the middle of the ocean. I guess you could let them go. I'm not sure about this. I feel like the fortress isn't going anywhere. You can probably take out the troops and then come back and blow up the fortress. Eagle himself was kind of the admirable foe enemy from the previous game, and now Hawk has taken over that role. So another way they're similar. I definitely think they intended you to do this mission first out of the green ones. Anyway, another cool, unique painting for the background there. And next up, we'll be playing as Eagle's rival, Jess, to find the secret plans for the lab. Darn right. As long as we have Eagle, Kanbei, and Max, no one can possibly beat us. Okay. That was pretty epic. I'm looking forward to the next mission. Till next time, have a great day, everyone.